This week's question comes from bass brother Garrett Duncan, who is curious what 5 albums we just can't live without. And I'm kind of paraphrasing because he sent me a longer question. But basically, what are the most 5 essential albums in our collection? So let's see what everyone says.
So, greetings, everyone. Hope you're healthy and well. 5 can't live without albums. Probably strong to say I can't live without them, but 5 of my all-time favorites for sure. And in no particular order: Miles Davis, Kind of Blue, classic jazz record, set the vocabulary for sort of so much of what happened after that. Steely Dan, Asia, brilliant, top to bottom, brilliant. Heavy Weather, Weather Report. Some amazing Jaco Pastorius playing on that album. So, Peter Gabriel. Saw that tour twice actually and loved it. And I find that album to be just almost perfect. And last but not least, kind of an alternative country band called Wilco. And I love their record called Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. Or is it Yankee Foxtrot Hotel? No, Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. Great record. So hope you might take some notes and find things you like on one or all those records. Check them out. Take care. Be well. Bye.
Well, hey, Bass Chat family. The question today is, what 5 records would you take with you if you only had 5 records to take with you the rest of your life? And I'm getting ready to make a whole bunch of people mad. And I apologize in advance. But you see, there's this thing that is called a box set. I know, it's cheating. For instance, Frank Zappa, Shut Up and Play Your Guitar, for vinyl. I'm a big fan of the Canadian jazz fusion band with Alain Caron, Uzeb. Compilation Uzeb, their entire output on one box set. Miles Davis, the complete Jack Johnson sessions, including outtakes. You see, albums aren't what they used to be, which is kind of a drag. But at the same time, if I was going to have to only listen to physical copies of records for the rest of my life, there'd be a lot of these. There'd be probably Andres Segovia, the complete recordings of the Bach cello suites on classical guitar. There would be Beethoven, the complete symphonies. There would be probably Beatles past masters. There would be the 4 CD set of the Weather Report album that they just released, where it's like from 1978. Or, if I'm just going to make everybody mad, let's ditch after the Beatles past masters, let's go with the Smithsonian Collection of Classic Jazz. That's an entire history of music. So let's see. Let's go back. I've got the Andres Segovia playing the Bach. I've got the complete Beethoven symphonies. I've got the Smithsonian Collection of Classic Jazz. I have 2 more left. Probably then Beatles past masters. And then also, probably rounding it out because I'm a bass player, there's an old compilation that's a vinyl one from ABC called The Bass. And they had everybody from Scott LaFaro to Ray Brown to every upright bass player. And I'd probably do those. And I'm sorry, guys. I really, it's hard for me to pick. Now we can get everything in the world on our phones, and I'm listening to an album a morning when I go walk my dog, or my dogs, and man, it's a rotating thing. It may be Chick Corea one morning, it may be Bill Evans or Miles the next morning, it may be Jack Bruce the next morning, it may be David Bowie the next morning. I'm a creature of variety, so the box set's the way for me to go. Sorry, I can't find the one magical record, but I can find a whole bunch of magical compilations. All right, I'll see you guys on the next go-round when hopefully my answer won't make somebody mad. Later.
Everything bass. How's everybody doing? This is Maurice from Los Angeles. And we are talking about 5 albums we can't live without. And man, that is that's a very limiting question because man, music is a soundtrack to life, and there has been a couple phases for me where music was a memorable backdrop to it all. But I decided to go with 5 or 6, sorry, that I think I listen to the most, and I realize that I buy every time that the media of music had changed. I would buy this record in the new format, and I've done it several times with some of this older stuff. So my 5, let me start with the oldest recording I have on here. I had to put on Songs in the Key of Life from Stevie Wonder on this list. And that did not come to me in 1976 when it came out, although I was hearing the radio hits, but it wasn't very long after that I realized that there was a lot of songs on there that just were awesome and I couldn't live without. So Songs in the Key of Life from Stevie Wonder from 1976. In 1978, Van Halen puts out their very first record, and that made such an impact on me, and I thought this was a changing point for rock. And yeah, I love that record, and I've bought it so many times, and it's a must-have. I have to have that record. So the first Van Halen record, Mr. Eddie. Let's see, after that, do I have anything from the 80s? Oh yeah, 1989. My Beatles, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, come out with Mother's Milk. It is not their first record, it is their 4th record, but that one has the Higher Ground remake on it, and I just love that. I just love that entire record. It's great. It was a great launch into the popularity that band took on. So, wow, what an amazing record. And let's see. Oh, another band from that era, Primus, and this is where I waffle on the record. I'm not sure if I would say Frizzle Fry or Sailing the Seas of Cheese. They're recorded a year apart. Frizzle Fry is kind of their debut, and that was put out in 1990. A debut on a big label, and then Sailing the Seas of Cheese has all the kind of their very first hits with Jerry Was a Race Car Driver and Tommy the Cat and American Life and things like that. So those records are very special to me too, and I listen to them a lot. And another one that's a little outside to the left side, but Michel Ndegeocello's Peace Beyond Passion record was very special to me too. And this was introduced to me by a drummer in 1996, and I listened to that record so much, and I turned students onto it. And she has a lot of great records, but that one always is in my collection. I have to make sure of that. So those are my 5. All right, everybody. I hope I turned or reminded somebody of something cool, and turn it on tonight and have some grooves going through your head. All right. Until next week. You guys take care. Bye.
Good evening. The question of what 5 albums I cannot live without. I may seem as though I'm cheating, but I'm quite honest about it. I didn't grow up with albums that were coming out at the time, brand new concepts and things like that. I grew up with my dad playing me old rock and roll from the radio mostly. So I'm going to have to say the 5 albums without which I could not live, that I listen to so very often, would be the best of ZZ Top, the best of Joan Jett, the best of Blood, Sweat and Tears, the best of Blackfoot, the best of Nazareth. Those are all bands that no matter how many times I've heard them, I listen to their music regularly, and I still find things to not only enjoy, but to hear slightly different and be able to play it slightly differently. And so no matter what songs go in my set list and things, I listen to those bands very often, and I could not live without them. So that's my answer for this week. That was a really fun question. I always look forward to doing this videos, and I hope you all are staying safe. And like a friend of mine out in California, Mr. Lane Baldwin, used to say, y'all keep thumping.
Hi, this is Mark Corradetti from Sarasota, Florida, coming to you from my pool area in the backyard. If I only had access to 5 albums, what would they be? I don't know. I've thought about this long and hard. There's just so many good ones. I guess Kind of Blue would be up there. That record with Steve Vai with, like 25 tracks on it, whatever it's called. I'd really like that. There would have to be a Motown record in there. That's 3. I don't know exactly which one. I'll tell you what, though, if I was on a desert island and I had the choice of not having any music, I would not have any music at all. I would not have any records. I would just go with what was in my head and the sounds that I hear naturally outside. A Weather Report record would be a good one if I had to have one. Probably Black Market. I really like that one. That's 4. And the last one, I don't know. Good question. Maybe you could give me a suggestion, but I really don't know. Those are my 4 top ones. But again, if I was on a desert island and I could only keep 5 records, I think I would choose none. But those are my 4. Yeah, that's about it. I don't have a 5th. Sorry. But that's how I feel, and I hope you all have a good day. Today's Super Sunday, and we look forward to next week. So have a great day, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, well, it comes to me now. So, wow, this is so tough. The way I kind of, I get asked to do lists like this all the time, and sometimes there's a qualifier for like what's the best bass solo album, what's the best upright album, what's the best punk album. And so I kind of was just spinning my gears because every musician in the world, man, our record collection is vast and treasured. So I started thinking back of, when I just had LPs and CDs came out, what were the first albums I made sure to get on CDs? And so that's where I came up with this list. So my they're not in any order because that's just wrong. First, it's actually an album by Marillion called Misplaced Childhood. That album, amazing. Just so much emotion, excellent performances. The lyrics, you could just read like a book. And it just, I don't know, I always find myself gravitating towards that, popping it in, especially on a long drive where I can really kind of think about the content, try to get into the songwriter's head a little bit. That's a great album. If you haven't heard it, check it out, actually. And then, of course, Kiss Alive 2. Now, I know a lot of people go, Kiss Alive 1's better. I chose Kiss Alive 2 because early on in my musical development, when I was really a little guy, I was into classical music. I had a teacher, a 4th and 5th grade teacher, 5th and 6th grade teacher who really got me excited about classical music. And honestly, I was quite a bit of a snob. And then my brother Dan brought home Kiss Alive 2, and just, particularly the song Shock Me with the guitar solo by Ace Frehley at the end, that just opened up my eyes and my ears. I got so passionate about rock and roll. I got so passionate about great guitar players, great bass players, things like that. And it was all because of that catalyst of Kiss Alive 2. So it's always one of the, like I said, when we started being able to get digital downloads and buy digital downloads, I bought Kiss Alive 2. It just means a lot to me. And having the 4th album all studio cuts is, I think, cool. And I wish second record, 4th side was all studio cuts. I think that's very cool. So when bands put out live albums, I hope they would include some fresh studio cuts or maybe demos or something that, just kind of to piggyback on. I thought that was a great package. Next, of course, got to do Rush. Man, Rush Moving Pictures. And this alone was a hard decision because I just love so many, all those Rush albums. They're all unique. They all have different characters. I pop them in. They all make me feel good. So once again, it's kind of Moving Pictures because my introduction to Rush came from hearing on a radio station in Chico, California, Tom Sawyer. And man, that I had to get the album. So I've had that, most of these that I'm going to tell you about, I've had on vinyl, cassette, CD, and when I could buy the digital download, I bought the digital download. So yeah, love that album. What's not to love about it? And then Van Halen Fair Warning. That album, man, there's a difference on that album. And I love everything about it. And of all the Van Halen albums, like if I'm saying, oh, I want to listen to Van Halen, I seem to always grab that one. It just, yeah, it's a little darker maybe than some of the other albums. And I just, Eddie. So that's that. My last choice was again a tough one because when I started kind of transitioning from just wanting to listen to rock and metal to appreciate other styles of music, I got Jeff Berlin's album Champion. I think it said Jeff Berlin with Vox Humana. The album was Champion. And I bought that album and it blew me away. And that's one of the reasons when I decided I needed to know more about music. I needed to learn about music theory. I needed to, to develop my sight reading. I needed to do all this because Jeff Berlin just blew me away. But then I really like Pump It, his next album. So as I'm trying to sit down going, which one should I put on this list, and wanting to stick to 5, I found a loophole. Jeff, in later years, released Jeff Berlin Crossroads, which is a combination of Champion and Pump It. And, whoa, thank you for that loophole, because I can't choose. Great albums, great playing, great compositions. Neil Peart is on a couple of the tracks. Neil Schon is on a couple of the tracks. Scott Henderson. It's just, yeah, you can't go wrong. Those are 2 great albums. But released as 1, so that's kind of how I'm going to put it in there. All right, Misplaced Childhood, Kiss Alive 2, Moving Pictures, Fair Warning, and Jeff Berlin Crossroads. Those are my 5 choices, and whatever the next media is, like if we're going to get like implants into our brains that has albums, those will be the first 5 I buy. Hey, I want to know what you guys say. This is fascinating. Like, if you could only grab the 5 records for like a long trip you're going on, or or choose 5 albums, and you only had enough room on your digital device for 5, what would those 5 be? Please share it in the comments below. And just like Garrett sent in this question, please send in more questions. We love answering your questions. When we don't, we just kind of answer our each other's questions. We come up with questions together. So I would love to hear what your questions are. That would make it so much fun. All right, guys, have a great day. See you at the next video.